The Unionists suffered a defeat in last week's elections. Now they are massively opposed to the newly elected parliament, and there could even be a trade war because of this. So the newly elected parliament in Northern Ireland is unable to work. The main Protestant party in the British part of the country refused to elect a Speaker of Parliament on Friday. They were protesting against the Brexit rules for Northern Ireland that were agreed with the EU and signed by Boris Johnson. The Democratic Unionist Party, the DUP, has decided not to vote for a speaker or to field its own candidate. That's what party leader Jeffrey Donaldson said at the first session of the newly elected National Assembly on Friday. Parliament is thus unable to work. We need to send a clear message to the European Union and our government that we are serious about tackling the protocol because of the damage it's doing. That's what Donaldson said, and which is complete bullshit, by the way. The DUP is demanding that the UK government scrap the deal it struck with the EU as part of the Brexit deal. The regulation is intended to avoid checks at the border with EU member Ireland and thus prevent the dispute between supporters and opponents of a merger of the North with the Republic of Ireland flaring up again. Instead, however, a customs border has emerged between Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom. The British government and supporters of the Union, like the DUP, therefore fear alienation from London. The Vice President of the Catholic Republican Party Sinn Féin, Michelle O'Neill, accused the DUP of taking the people of Northern Ireland hostage with their blocking attitude for their failed Brexit policy. The leader of the cross-sectarian Alliance Party, Naomi Long, described the DUP stance as incredibly frustrating. The DUP campaigned for the EU exit, so the Brexit, in the 2016 referendum, and later, together with Brexit hardliners from the Tory party, probably ERG, blocked what was known as the backstop compromise solution by then Prime Minister Theresa May. The Northern Ireland Protocol, which the DUP hates so much, is therefore not insignificantly due to their own actions. And Irish Prime Minister, the Taoiseach Micheál Martin, called on the DUP to end their blocking stance. Yes, there are issues that unionists have pointed out to us regarding the protocol, Martin said. But these problems should not prevent us from constituting the Regional Assembly and forming a government. The British government in London has meanwhile issued an ultimatum to the EU to agree to changes to the treaty. Ultimatum again. Otherwise, London wants to end the regulation unilaterally. In that case, a trade war could loom because the whole exit treaty would be gone by then. The government in London showed understanding for the attitude of the DUP. Calling it reasonable on Friday, Brexit Secretary Jacob Rees-Mogg said the Northern Ireland Protocol needs to be changed. JRM. Unionists in Northern Ireland are understandably concerned about how the protocol has been applied, and so should we be, he said. The contract itself provides for its revision, which has not yet been successfully completed. Rees-Mogg accuses the European Union of not negotiating in good faith. There's only one side that's doing that. At the same time, he described announced retaliatory measures from Brussels, including the termination of the free trade agreement, as disproportionate and expressed doubts that the EU would find the necessary unanimity on this issue. No, the whole thing was conditional on the protocol. EU officials had announced that London's unilateral action would affect trade privileges. EU Commissioner Maros Šefčovič, who is responsible for negotiations with the British government, told the British that honesty was needed about the fact that the EU could not solve all the problems caused by Brexit, and caused by the Brexiteers then. The chair of the Internal Market Committee of the EU Parliament, Anna Cavazzini, described it as absurd and irresponsible that London is now starting a dispute with the EU as a diversionary maneuver. It shows that Prime Minister Boris Johnson has his back to the wall in domestic politics. Oh, this woman is so right. Foreign Minister Liz Truss expressed disappointment on Thursday after the recent telephone conversation with EU negotiator Maros Šefčovič and said that the government now has no choice but to act. She plans to present a bill next week that could override the provisions of the Brexit treaty. Irish Foreign Minister Simon Coveney spoke on Friday of anti-democratic behaviour in relation to the legislative initiative. The government in London plans to consciously break international law, he said. He rightly said. The Guardian reported that a delegation of American MPs led by influential Northern Ireland expert Richie Neal would travel to London in the coming days. Neal has long warned against a unilateral withdrawal of the Northern Ireland Protocol and has already threatened to halt the British-US negotiations on a free trade agreement. Washington is also expected to send a permanent representative to Belfast. And the nationalist Sinn Féin, which is geared towards Irish reunification and which overtook the DUP in the elections for the very first time and now has the largest group in the Belfast Parliament, described the unionists' actions on Friday as shameful. The blockade of the DUP means that Northern Ireland will continue to be governed by ministers from the old government. They can only make very limited decisions and cannot launch any new projects. And so the DUP, they call themselves Democratic Unionist Party, but as someone rightly wrote in the comments under one of my videos is, why is it that almost always countries and other organizations that have to call themselves democratic usually are the least democratic? Yeah? The Democratic Republic of the German Democratic Republic, that was East Germany that time, the Democratic Republic of Korea, the North Korea, and then all this crap, or the Democratic People's Party and all this shit. And the same goes with the DUP. They don't accept democracy. The majority of the people in Northern Ireland voted for parties that don't want to scrap the protocol. Because most people are satisfied with the protocol, because Northern Ireland now has the best of both worlds. They are in a customs union and a single market with Great Britain, and in a customs union and a single market with the EU. They have a very unique position now, and a very favorable position. But the DUP is so narrow-minded that they don't want to see this. They are only afraid of one thing, the same as Boris Johnson: their personal power. And that is threatened now because the people, especially in Northern Ireland, are waking up. And so it's going to get very interesting, because the Northern Ireland Protocol is a very important part of the withdrawal agreement. If they scrap one part, you scrap all of it. And they can tell whatever they want to. They are doing this. The EU went much further than I personally do accept what they proposed for the use of the Northern Ireland Protocol, with reducing 80% of checks and so they went too far for my taste. They gave in too far already. And of course Johnson and his cronies will never be satisfied by this, but the EU must not go any step further. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.